Okay, so we're going to take a look at data types, and there are five that I want to focus on here. You've got your Boolean data, your integers, your floats, your strings, and your lists. So a Boolean is basically on, off, or true, false. Okay, so it's just two options. Your integer is any positive or negative whole number. A float is your decimal numbers. Um, a string. Now, a string is just a bunch of characters. So in this case, the string is 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and then a list is inputting is a bunch of values. Okay, and those values can be numerical or they can be like we have them here as a string. So I'm just going to block out this, comment out this for a moment so that it doesn't interfere with what we're going to try to do down below. So what we have is I've set up five different variables. One of them is Boolean, integer, float, strings, and then I've set up, E is a bunch of strings. It's a list. So what we're going to do is we're just going to see which ones can kind of add together and which ones work. So if I say print A and B, I'm actually going to try, well, I'll just try print them one at a time. So if I print A and B together, you'll notice it prints out saying 11, which actually kind of makes sense because B is 10 and true is just the value of 1, okay, whenever we talk about Boolean, like it's 1 or 0. So we can add Boolean uh, and integers. So, okay, we'll just comment out this one, try the next one. So if we do true, I feel like we should be able to do this one. Yeah, 11.01. And before I do each of them, have a guess yourself. Do you think it's going to work or not? Can I print a Boolean and a string? Ah, no. And I get, look, you can't combine Boolean and string. So that's good to know whenever you're putting data together, which ones will and won't work. And can I combine a Boolean? No. And a list? Not possible. Okay, so kind of good to see that you can't, what does and won't work together when you're writing out your code. Just checking the other ones. If we do B and C, so an integer and a string. Okay, here we've said sorry, integer and a float. Yeah, absolutely. You can put them together, combining B and C. Oops. Uh, Combining B and D, if we were to run it, again, we can't put integers and strings together. And if you do B and E, which is a integer and a list, it's again going to give us the error. So we've only got a few left to check. C and D, a quick check. Nope, it's a float and a string. That won't work. C and E, ding, ding, ding. Okay, a float and a list won't work. And then finally, our last option is to try a string and a list. Can we print them together? And no. Okay, we can't put them together. So it's good to know when you're working with data which ones can and can't be added together. And generally what you'll find is whenever you're getting these type of errors is you might have entered one thing in, maybe you were supposed to enter it as a string and instead you entered it as an integer or something like that. So for example, instead of entering 10 here, you entered in 10 with the commas, and now it sees this as a string, no longer an integer. That would be the major thing then. Next video we'll take a look at is the types and how to identify the types.